In this video, we're going to go through relative volume. We're going to look at stocks that had a lot of relative volume on Friday, October 25th. We had a lot of earnings this week, so just keep in mind these could be moving on earnings. And also on Friday, options expire, so that could also move these stocks. But some of these moved quite a bit, and I think the earnings probably is what moved them. Before we get into it, though, we'll also look at some charts here. We're going to look at the 30. We're going to look at the dashboard, the trend channel, the 30-week chart, and a 5-year chart for each stock. So the first one we're going to look at is Tapestry. So if we go back to Tapestry, that had 11.32 times volume on Friday. Its 30-day average volume was 1.5 million. It was 17 million on Friday. It's about a little less than 20% above its 30-week moving average. Before I go through the stock chart, a couple people asked me to make, a subscriber asked me to make more relative volume videos, so I'm going to do that. Someone asked me to make a tutorial on the moving average screener. I will do that, but I want to wait until I hit a milestone. I also want to make do tutorials on everything in the stock screener first before I go ahead and make a tutorial on the moving average screener. So I do want to wait on that. If for some reason this channel fails, which is a possibility, I only have 25 subscribers at the moment, or 24. If it does fail, I will still make this video at some point for the moving average screener and just leave it up there. So you will get it whether I succeed or fail, just to keep that in mind. So here we go. We also have relative volume on the week for Tapestry. Tapestry makes the handbags for Coach, Kate Spade, and some other brands. We broke out on the 30-week moving average. We're real extended about 20% above the 30-week moving average, but it's curling up. We have some relative strength right here versus the Qs. So this is a chart of Tapestry. This is a chart of the Qs. This is how Tapestry is performing versus the Qs, and this is the volume for Tapestry on a weekly time frame if you're watching this for the first time. We go to the trend channel. We're in an uptrend. We look like we're going to break that uptrend. That's bullish. Our daily MACD is crossing. That's also bullish. If we go to the 30-week chart, we have an open MACD on the weekly time frame. This is a weekly MACD. We're using the 5, 35, and 5 exponential moving averages, 5 and 35 for MACD and 5 for single line. This is the same chart right here that you see in the dashboard over here. You can just see it better here because it's small, so you see the movement better. When we look at the 30-week chart, it's, I've expanded it so you don't see the movements, but I have data labels. So these labels down here are for the 30-week moving average. We can see that it's trending up. It did trend down, but now it's back to trending up from this week to this week. But then it trended back up from this week to this week, the 30-week moving average. And then if we go to the 5-year chart, you can see we're making 5-year highs. And if you listen to any talk show or anything, any expert, when it comes to the stock market, they'll say often the right thing to do is buy high and sell higher. Well, this is making a 5-year high, and it made it this week. It's 51.59 is a 5-year high. The high of the week was 51.59, and the current price is $50.49. So it's not a recommendation to buy or sell. I'm just giving you information. You do what you want with this. This looks like it's a very bullish Tapestry right now. And it's only 20% above its 30-week moving average. You could always take a partial position, and if it pulls back tighter to its 30-week moving average, add to it. So you could, half a position or a third of a position and then add. So this is more focused for long-term investments or momentum traders. The next one we'll talk about, and I'm doing this all in the S&P 500 because we had so many companies report this week that we had so much movement in the S&P 500. So no reason to go to speculative companies when we have plenty of opportunities right in the S&P 500. Deckers is the next company I'm going to talk about. There's 7.61 times relative volume, 1 million shares roughly traded out over the last 30 days, 8 million shares traded on Friday. It's only 8.41% above its 30-week moving average. And you can see it's the third highest or the fourth highest relative volume. It's up 10% from the previous close, 10.5%. And then if we go to the charts here, we can see we have 4 out of the last 5 weeks. We have weekly relative volume that's bullish. We have relative strength 4 out of the last 5 weeks, and we are in an uptrending. Our 30-week moving average is trending up, and we're above it. If we go to the trend channel, we're trending up, and we bounced right off the bottom and turned up. And we have a daily MACD that has not crossed yet, but looks like it's about to. And based on that relative volume, I would expect it to. We have a 29% Fibonacci retracement, so I haven't talked about that. I didn't talk about that in the last one. So this is actually between the 23 and 38%. So bullish stocks, when the first level here that they pull back into, sometimes they bounce off of those. So that's a good sign that it's bouncing off of that level. So it's just, you're adding the Fibonacci retracement to the trend channel, to the daily MACD. You're looking at multiple criteria for why this is a possible bullish investment from a technical analysis perspective. And all of these say that it is. If we go to the 30-week chart, our weekly MACD is open, and it opened a few weeks ago. You can see back on, I think, 10/4. It opened, and it's been open ever since, and it's starting to diverge a little bit and get open wider. If we go to the 5-year chart, this is also not quite making a 5-year high, but it did here, and I would bet that it probably will again. Its 5-year high is $184.48. Its current price is $168.11. So it made this 5-year high right here on May 31st. So that was quite a few, over 6 months ago, probably 6-7 months ago. Now I expect it to get back to that level. So this is more for long-term investors, right? It takes time. You have to be patient. And I think it will get back to that level, but you decide for yourself. So that's it for Deckers. We'll go on to the next one here. So the next one I have highlighted here is Digital Realty Trust, and that's a play on the AI. That's about 20% above its 30-week moving average, 7.42 times relative volume, 820,000 shares traded a day over the last 30 days, but Friday, 6 million shares were traded. It's up about 9.62% from its Friday close, or from its Thursday close to its Friday close. And then if we go to the stock charts, we can see that we're trending higher over the last 30 weeks. We have some relative volume this week. We have some relative strength over the last 3 weeks versus the market, versus the Qs. If we go to the trend channel, this is a tight trend channel. You can see there's less volatility here, but we broke out of the top trend channel, so that's very bullish. And our MACD is pointing straight up. That's also very bullish. This is a momentum trade, although most people who invest in REITs, they want income and they look for value. So this is different for this REIT, but you do get a dividend with these REITs. On a 30-week chart, we have a bullish weekly MACD. We're trending up. Our 30-week moving average is trending up, as you can see by the numbers here, 147.18, 147.87, etc., all the way to 150.26, I believe. If we go to the 5-year chart, we are also making 5-year highs this week for Digital Realty Trust, so that's bullish. 193.88 was the 5-year high. We made that this week. The current price is 181.01. Can we get back to that 5-year high? Maybe, maybe not. You have to decide that for yourself. This is just, like I said, just information. Those are 3 stocks that look interesting based on technical analysis. The next stock we'll talk about is Western Digital, and that is right around its 30-week moving average. So this is a very safe entry point, because if you want to put a stop below the 30-week moving average, you're not taking on a whole lot of risk. 6.73 times volume, 2.6 million traded daily over the last 30 days, and over 17 million shares traded on Friday. We are up from the previous Thursday's close to Friday's close. We are up, and we were up 4.72%. So we closed at 66.32 on Thursday and closed Friday at 69.45. So we got all the way to 72.58, but then it pulled back. If we go to the stock screener, you can see this is an uptrending chart, and we broke down, but now we're getting ready to cross again, and we have relative volume, and we have a couple weeks of relative strength. So this looks like a good risk to reward ratio, and a stock that's probably going to go above its 30-week moving average. If we look at the trend channel, we're in an uptrend, but we're at the bottom of the trend channel and we're turning up, and you can't really see it very well here, but the MACD is actually crossed the signal line, and it's just barely crossed, but it's pointing up. And if we look at the Fibonacci retracement level, we're in the second level here of the 38 to 50% level. Well, or you could call it the third level, I guess, because the 0 to 23% might be the first level, but the between 38 and 50%. So anywhere between $70 and $68, and right now we're at $69.45, and I expect us to break back into the next level, and so forth, based on what I'm seeing. We have a weekly MACD that's crossing, and we have you can see that we're trending up, and it looks like we're going to cross the 30-week moving average. If we look at a 5-year chart, We did hit a 5-year high right here, and this was back on July 12th, 78.77. Oh, no, the 5-year high was 81.55. So this is a weekly time frame. So just keep that in mind. So that 5-year high probably happened sometime in this week because we only have the weekly prices. We don't have the daily prices. So sometime the week of ending July 12th, we probably got to 81.55 for a high. And right now we're sitting at 69.45 and we're getting ready to cross. So I'd like to see it get up to that high again and then break. And you could, if I was to draw a trend line, move my chart there. If I was to draw a trend line across here and we broke out of that ceiling, this would be a resistance line right here. If you look at this graph, the $80 level here is really your resistance, because we have a hit here and a hit here, and if we hit that again, that'll be the third time, and then we break through, and that'll be very bullish. So just keep an eye on the price action. So the next one we'll look at is going to be ResMed. That's about 17% above its 30-week moving average, 6.44 times relative volume on Friday. Over the last 30 days, we traded about 545,000 or 600,000 shares, and Friday we traded 3.5 million shares. It's up about 7% from Thursday's close to Friday's close. We closed at 239.09 on Thursday, and we closed at 256.07 on Friday. If we go to the chart, you can see this is just in a smooth uptrend. We have not broke down below the 30-week moving average. We've had touches over the last 30 weeks, but haven't broke down. We have a relative volume on the week, and we have some relative strength this week. If we go to the trend channel, you can see we're in an uptrend. We have a daily MACD that is going up to the bullish side. If we go to the 30-week chart, the weekly MACD just crossed to the bullish side. So these are all indicators that these are going higher. And there could be some pullbacks during the week. So those pullbacks, I would consider those possible opportunities for myself. You have to decide for yourself. So just watch the price action throughout the week. But if you get those pullbacks, those could be possible opportunities. If we look at the 5-year chart, we are in an uptrend, and we haven't been in that uptrend for very long. Looks like we broke out here somewhere in January of this year, and we're trending up. So this is still in the early phase of stage 2, and we're 256 right now. This is 295. So around 295 would be its resistance level here. So if it breaks above that, it could continue to go higher. This is a $37 billion stock. Its 5-year high is 301.34, and its current price is 256.07. Next one we'll talk about is Capital One Financial. That has 5.07 times relative volume, 1.2 million shares traded over the last 30 days, about 6 million traded on Friday. It's only 12.44% above its 30-week moving average. It's up about 5% from Thursday's close to Friday's close. If we go to the stock screener, we can see we have all buyers for the last 4 weeks volume, and 6 out of the last 7 weeks. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, 6 out of the last 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 5 out of the last 6 weeks we have relative volume, all green bars versus one small red bar. And it's a very small red bar. So that's bullish. We're in an uptrend on the 30-week moving average. We have relative strength. If we go to the trend channel, we're in an uptrend. We have a daily MACD that's getting ready to cross again here to the upside. If we go to the 30-week chart, you can see that we're above the 30-week moving average. We have a weekly MACD that is open and bullish. If we go to the 5-year chart, we look like we're getting ready to make another 5-year high. Our 5-year high is 177.95. Right now it's 161.27. The high of the week was 167.93. Excuse me, it was 161.27 is the current price. The high of the week was 167.93. So we're not that far off the 5-year high, which would be our resistance level here across. So on a long-term basis, this is getting ready to break above its long-term resistance level. So just keep that in mind. And that's it for Capital One. Just a couple more to talk about. We have L3 Harris Technologies. They had 4.52 relative volume. Trades about 360,000 shares a day over the last 30 days. It traded 1.6 million On Friday, it's about 11.29% above its 30-week moving average. It's up 3.5% from Thursday's close to Friday's close. If we go to the stock charts, this is in a smooth uptrend and it has not broken down below its 30-week moving average for the last 30 weeks. This really is a very smooth and chart with lots of green bars. So this is I would call this a low, kind of just a smooth riding stock. You're not going to get a huge upside, but you aren't going to get a huge downside either. It's just trending up slowly. Sometimes those are the best ones if you're more of a conservative investor. And you can see how we have a tight channel because it's just trending up nice and slow. And we have a daily MACD that's getting ready to cross. And we have a 30-week MACD that has crossed and open and bullish, where our 30-week moving average is trending up. And on a 5-year time frame, we are making new highs. We made a high this week of 258.89, and a 5-year high is 279.71. So we have probably somewhere in this week, it hit 270, the week ending 3/4/2022. It hit that price. So we aren't making new highs yet, but we're getting close. So this is our resistance level right here. If we break above that high, it could be off to the races for L3 Harris and going much higher from there. And we are in an uptrend and above our 30-week moving average. And we've only been there for about the last year or so in this uptrend. So this will be the last one we talk about that's really bullish for the relative volume and the uptrend. But I will have one kind of bonus one here at the end after this one that looks really interesting to me. And it's a company that everyone probably knows. But for now, we're going to go through this one. Aon PLC, it's about 18% above its 30-week moving average. It's 4.47 times relative volume on Friday. It only trades around 500,000 shares a day over the last 30 days, but traded 2.3 million on Friday. If we go to the stock screener to look at this, it broke out. This is really a breakout stock here because we had some consolidation, and then we broke above our 30-week moving average right here, which was July 26th, and we've been on an uptrend ever since. And our 30-week moving average chart is trending up. We have some green. We have 4 weeks of green bars of volume. We have some relative volume over the previous weeks here. Relative strength here versus the Qs. If we go to the trend channel, we broke out of the top of the trend channel. That's bullish, and this is a tight consolidated trend channel. So I would consider this a breakout stock, basically, because we have a tight channel. It's in consolidation. It's not tilting too high, and we broke above it. We have a daily MACD that is bullish to the upside across the signal line. If we go to the 30-week chart, you can see we just kind of were consolidating underneath this 30-week moving average and then broke out right here. And an early indication, when I talk about the next stock that I said will be kind of like a bonus one, an early indication that a stock is going to go above its 30-week moving average is when the weekly MACD breaks above the signal line. If that stays trending up, eventually it should go above its MACD, or above the 30-week moving average. Now, sometimes it'll just go ahead and break right back down, but this is the early indication right here. So on 6/14, I think here, June 14th, our weekly MACD broke above the signal line, and that was right around here, and it's been going higher ever since. So we were around $295, and now we're at $375. So that's your early indication that you're going to, if you want to take on more risk for more reward, this is the early indication you're going to go above the 30-week moving average. So you're not above the 30-week moving average here, but it's telling you that you might be going above it. If we go to the 5-year chart, we're making 5-year highs. 5-year high was 389.21. Right now, the current price is 375.44. 5-year highs on a weekly time frame, and that 5-year high, what did that happen this week? The high of the week was 389.21. So that high did happen this week. So this is making a 5-year high. So that's very bullish, and we're just in stage 2. You can see we have all consolidation from here to here, and now we just broke out in stage 2. So this is really early stage 2 stock that has just broken out. And I honestly don't even know what this company does. I'll have to do some research on it. But technical analysis is just a starting point. Look at the investor relations page, look at the balance sheets, look at any business metrics, do news, anything you can find about the company, and then decide if it's a good investment or not. So the last stock I want to talk about is one I think everyone knows what it is, Lululemon. They had the athletic apparel. It's like the athleisure clothing, and they sell like some handbags and other stuff like that too. But it's more athleisure clothing. They had 2.57 times relative volume on Friday. They trade about 1 million shares a day over the last 30 days. They traded 2.5 million on Friday. It's only 2.59% above its 30-week moving average. It's up from the close on Thursday, only 1.73% from the close on Friday. But if we go through the stock screener, we can see that it's in a downtrend and it's just breaking back above its 30-week moving average. I'm going to go through some things why I think this is interesting. It does have relative strength versus the market over the last 5 out of the last 4 weeks. We have 3 green bars here of volume. It's over the last 30 weeks. It's obviously underperforming the Qs. If we look at the trend channel, it's in a downtrend, but it's looking like it's going to break the possibly get up to the top of the trend channel and break through here and maybe turn this channel going the other way. And we have a daily MACD that is open. From a Fibonacci retracement level, we're in the 40% level, so we're between 300 and 315. So I'd like to see it break above 315 into the next level. If we go to the 30-week chart, you can see here it's breaking through. But more importantly, how I talked about on the last stock here, the weekly MACD, we actually broke the signal line, broke above back here in August, so August 16th. The MACD broke above the signal line on August 16th, right around here, and the price was let's see here, 268.55, and it's rode all the way up to 304.15, and then you can see it's just going higher and higher, the MACD, and diverging further apart from the signal line. If we look at a 5-year chart, you can see this is in a 5-year uptrend. That's what this blue line is here. But we have broke down, and now we're breaking back above the 30-week moving average, and it looks like 30-week is starting to try and curl back up, but it hasn't yet. So this is just an early, if you want to take on more risk for more reward, there's a ton of upside in Lululemon, but just keep in mind you're taking on more risk with this one based on technical analysis, just based on technical analysis. So if you want to do further research, please do that, but based on technical analysis alone, you're taking on more risk because of where it is, because we have a downtrending 30-week moving average, and it might just get sold off. Pay attention to news. Pay attention to if any analysts downgrade any of these stocks, they'll get pummeled, especially a stock like this one that's right near its 30-week moving average. So just keep that in mind. I hope that was interesting. That's all I got for you today. Thanks for watching. If you found any value in these videos, consider hitting the like and subscribe button. Thanks again.